All right, so I just finished Billy. I think this is Robert. I'm not sure if this is red from last fight. I'm like 90% sure it's red from last fight, but I'm not sure if it's red from last fight. So I won't take any of that into what I see here. We're just gonna look at this one as if it was just that. But I only say that if it is the same, if it isn't the same fighter, they'll have a lot of the same tendencies, which is why.
Hold this.
So this is against the AAU team member, I believe. I'm not sure if these guys are juniors or seniors. Um, Good cancel. This guy's in your face a lot. Not bad. Double. Don't back out. One of the things here after this large offense, you put yourself at risk this whole time. Your whole time you're moving forward, you're putting yourself at risk. Like obviously you're exchanging the opportunity to score points for risk. You risk yourself by pushing forward, and then one of the benefits of that is you're supposed to get ring space from that, and you back out and you give them the whole ring space. So it's almost like you put yourself at risk for points, get an opportunity, so it's a 1-1 exchange. And instead of you coming away from that exchange with an advantage of ring space, you give that advantage back. So it turns out to be just a 1-1 exchange in terms of advantages. Instead of you press the attack and then he's what's called, and then you take ring space away from him.
Good job, Robert.
All right. Oh, oh. That's something I'd be looking for you to do. It looks like all of his pressure right here is from this left leg. So you just need to get around this cancel, follow up, and you need to be prepared to negate this initially out of the gate, the left leg out of the gate, and then follow up after that. It seems like that's what the whole game plan would be here. Also, future note, I'm getting on this because this is like the team member, and so all the mistakes, all the small things that needs to be fixed have to be fixed now because there's no one better in the United States currently in AAU than this guy, and so every little mistake has to be critiqued. For lower belts, local tournament, whatever, I wouldn't get on about this. If you're if you're at a Cal Yo and you're near the corner, you need to stand here and wait till the ref pushes him back because um, when the game is on the line, when the team is on the line, one gamjang outside could be the difference between whether you making team and not making team. If that makes sense. Like I cannot harp how on point your game has to be when you're going against team members because every point matters. If you're 1 point ahead of a team member, it highly skews the way the game is going to be played because they have to come against you, and that puts more odds in your favor. Like every small advantage matters. And so this situation here, when you're in the clinch, like I don't mind you trying that. Don't step back. From here, you stand your ground here, and if anything, you take a small step forward and wait for the ref to push this guy back, so you have more room to work with, versus you stepping back and only having like 2 meters to play with. Like, like you don't have that much room to play with anymore, and so his his offense now can be more predicated around here short and headshot versus if you were here, he has to play more of a 30. Is he going to be in close, back out, or stay in place kind of game? Versus here, you can't back out anymore, so you're either going to be here or you're going to move forward. It adds, um, instead of being 33, 33, 33% repeating whatever, it becomes 50-50 for him, which is not good for you. Okay. Just cancel that front leg. This guy also has a back leg. Cancel the front leg. Okay, so he does have a back leg. The main threat, though, is the front leg. So as long as you're handling that, that's most of his weaponry gone. And so a lot of my defense against this guy would have been to cancel initially and race him on the follow up versus um, letting him cut kick you and then you Hujin back. Mm, there's ring space over here. There's no ring space here. This is smaller ring space. Take the ring space and force him back into the corner. You you put yourself in the corner. Don't do that. Cancel. Forward. If you had done this over here, you wouldn't have to worry about having to clinch on that if you didn't want to because you'd have more ring space. Um, Also, you just need to cancel this thing, and it's either your left cancel, take your hand and throw that thing out of the way, or If you want to switch into it, hook it, and then spin under, like spin under with your back leg. So you'd switch stance, hook the leg, and spin into a back kick or a hook kick. That's also a viable option. But you need to make sure that he is not comfortable throwing that anymore. And he's only comfortable throwing it because a lot of your defense is predicated on moving back. Against someone who likes to flick kick, a better defense instead of moving backwards is just cancel right away. So that way, he has to be prepared, especially if you're faster on the follow up. If you cancel and follow up right away, every time this guy throws his cut, he has to be worried about getting canceled and then kicked, especially if you're faster, which you should be because you're not as tall as he is. Turn. Oh, in the future. Oh, in the future. I'm being extra hard on this because this is supposed to be the team member, so all the mistakes are need to be corrected. Here, this guy's got it right. He has his arm underneath. If you want ring priority or clinch priority, you want to be on the inside. He doesn't do it, but what he could do if his left leg was good here was he could essentially lift your arm up and then just kick underneath, like flap it up and then kick. And that's why you want to be underneath that way, because it's easier to lean your head out of the way if he goes over than it is for you to try and dodge a kick. There's a lot of stuff on the screen. The reason for being underneath is one, to make sure that you can clinch and hold the clinch if you need to. Two, if his left leg was good or he's adapted this, he can throw your arm out because he's underneath. He can throw your arm out while stepping back and follow up on this way. And third, you say, well, if I'm on top, he can't crescent kick because I can block it. It's easier to move your head out of the way this way or use your other hand to block behind your head like that than it is to try and evade a kick coming to the body while your arm is exposed. Good job taking the space. And okay. Round one. That's interesting. Cancel. Good exchange. I don't mind. I don't know if he scored or not because I can't see the score, but that exchange going in when he kicked, you going in, good. Very good. Same thing again. You want to be underneath. And because you're smaller, you're going to have an easier time moving him around. Swing your leg out this way. That's going to throw his body back into the corner, and then he is in the corner, and you have ring priority. Don't move back. If you get separated, you stand your ground. Wait for him to move back. Nice. Don't move back. Oh. Dude, momentum was just swinging your favor. If I were here, instead of resetting, I would get back on the line and act like you're going to press again. So at least he's not sitting there thinking about what kind of a cut kick can I throw at this guy. He's thinking about, oh, is he coming? And that gives you a couple seconds to mount your offense versus if you step back right here or you relax, that puts his mind at ease. And it's going to make it a lot easier and make him more comfortable throwing his cut kick against you. I don't know what happened. Longer. So, I know it's easy for me to say now while I'm watching you, but against someone who's taller and cut kicking like that, you need to either go underneath while in play. Oh, too far. You need to lean backwards and go underneath while he's in place, or if he puts it down when you're moving back, you need to be move forward. You can't kick where he is because his leg is longer than yours. So mathematically, your distance, if he kicks full extension, you kick full extension, isn't going to work. So if you're going to Hujin, and he's putting his leg down, you need to be kicking forward on that. You can't be kicking in place. A little bit more forward. I wouldn't also, so I think maybe you favor your left, but all of his threats are on this side. So if I were getting out of this corner, my first instinct would be to throw something with my right to just get in the way of his left coming out at all, period. And it could even be like a body face just in case you're worried about this other leg coming up. But coming out of here with your left leg, knowing that this is his main weapon, seems like not so much of a good exchange to me. Good cancel. Good cancel. Do you get in the middle? Get in the middle. Get in the middle. Get in the middle. Okay. Oh, it's the end of the round.
Go, Bill.
Cancel.
Robert.
So against someone who likes to flick cut like this, you need to cancel. You can't. Moving back isn't really a viable option against someone who likes to flick cut because they're gathering momentum, and it's easier for them to flick cut against you if you're moving back. Um, yeah.
Come out.
So I know it comes out fast. I would come in with your own kind of cancel forward, cancel leaning forward like you're gonna punch. Punch him if you want to. I mean, it seems like he'd be open, his legs bent, and then follow up out in with a body shot with your left or out in.
Come out. Robert.
Press. You first. I think you need to be. He's dictating a lot of the pace of this fight by cut kicking you. You need to be dictating by trying to either motion forward or threaten to cut him forward. And if he does raise against you, then just cut him hard. I wouldn't fight him like that. Turn, 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 turn. Yeah, turn. Nice. There you go. Inside, on the inside. Don't move back. Don't move back. Don't move back. You should go first here, especially when he's low. Because I don't know why he's doing that. Maybe he's sitting on this back leg, but as far as I know, he hasn't really shown that much back leg to the face stuff. So if you strong cut here and are ready to flick to his face after, like cut flick, what he's doing to you, like cut kick and flick to the head, like we're doing to you, I think you should be okay.
Go, Robert.
But his front leg is so much of a threat such that it must be dealt with first. There's some people where you can fight toe to toe, but against like let's say the Taipei guy who got second at World in Muju, that guy's front leg is something where it's so developed it has to be taken out of the equation before you follow up. And I would say almost for your guys' division, this guy has the same kind of deal. All of your offense should be predicated about removing this front leg first and then trying to do something after where the playing field is more even. Backside, backside, backside. Dude, he just lifts. And he lifts and it's bent. So if you go first on his initial kick, you're either going to clash or you're going to win.
Robert.
Not there, not there. What? Last time he threw this leg in the back. Last time that leg was in the back is he tried for your head, right? And so if he's here, I wouldn't do it here. Here I would go for something like a push kick, because the last time this leg was back here, it went to your head. So this is where all the head kicks come out of. As much as you can, you just got to take this left leg out of the equation whenever you're fighting this guy. Wow, this kid has a double too. This kid's pretty good.
Good kick. Good.
There you go. Good. Dude, do that more often. Just do that more often. Do stuff that cancels this guy's left leg out more often. Oh, you're backing up too much here. You're on the line, and then you back up the first time. You're on the line again, and then you back up a second time. He knows now you're not sitting anything, and you're probably going to move back, so I wouldn't be surprised if he cuts you right now. Which is what he does. You can't, so if you're defending against a tall player, you need to make this guy guess whether you are coming in to punch, if you're coming in, or with a short head kick where he's going to run into it. Especially if you can cut kick, if you drive your knee high and then cut kick on top of his small bent cut that comes up first, because he always bent cuts first and then follows up after that. So if you drive your knee high and shoot it forward, you may be able to reach him. I'm not sure what the height difference is if you're actually going to be able to, but I think if you drive this knee up high and then kick over, you should be able to reach him. Second, if you're in place, you have to be ready to cancel. Or even if you slide back, you have to be ready to cancel. But ideally, even as a smaller player, you need to make sure the taller player has no idea where you're going to be. And too often, you're kind of caught moving backwards this match. I'm not sure if it's because you're tired or because that's usually how your defense works. But in my opinion, you're a little bit too predictable for this guy, and it kind of fits right into his cut head kick because it seems like that's his main weapon. And what usually happens is if what usually happens against that is if they move back, you kind of just fall into his trap of cutting you into the corner. Then you have nowhere to move. It's easier for him to headshot. It's easier to force you out. So you need to be playing a little bit more off, like on the line or offensively against this guy. That's not bad. I would not even fault this move. I would maybe say you should be ready to follow up, especially against someone tall. After you cut, you got to be ready to 1-2, or expect the counters coming and then be ready to cover after that because 1-for-1, especially if you put yourself going forward, is not a good idea. But going offense there, I would not fault you for that, especially against his backside. I think that was a good decision. So you're on the line. Oh, you offense here? Nice. So get there. Take the middle. Take the middle. Good. Oh, offense there. He's in the corner, man. Don't let him out. Cut him again. Cut kicker in place. Cut in place cancel. Better. Don't back out. You don't need to back out. Yeah. Oh, time's up. That's why. Not bad. Good. Not bad either. Don't back up. Nice try. So also something he's catching you with is he tends to follow up a lot, whereas your defense is one shot. And more often than not, I'm assuming that's more of how he's scoring. As a smaller player, you need to be ready to outkick this guy because he has the advantage of reaching your head easier than you can reach his head. And so something to take away too is be ready to train more follow-ups, especially after a cancel or your forward pressure. Especially if this is the average height of people in your division, you have to be ready to brawl on the inside to maximize your time when you get past that front leg because it's already hard enough to do that. And then if you're exchanging the outside kick for only one kick on the inside, it's a lot of risk. A lot of times you're at risk for not as many times for you to get an opportunity. Oh, it's all on that left, man. No worries. Left side. His left side always goes to the head when it's in the back. It's hard to do because he mixes it up. And to be honest, I can't think of a counter right now besides to expect that. As soon as he goes in back, watch for head kicks. So maybe trade with a front like axe. Or what I did was when I fought Korea, he had a Chemu Yen, I think. Was that right? Forgot his name. Or yeah, it was one of those guys. He had a really crazy back leg round flip face kick. He used it against Stephen Lamlin. He knocked him out. He used it against Wudicic from Germany. He knocked him out in the Grand Prix. And what I did when I fought that guy was I just switched my stance so he couldn't use it. And then whenever it came up, I just straight blocked that side, and that's how I dealt with it. So when this guy's left leg isn't back, since it's not gonna cut you from there, just be ready that that thing's gonna come up as a headshot. It's giving too much ground. So when you get set and then you're walking back like this, it makes it very predictable that you're gonna move back. So it's easy for him to start doing longer range cut, flick head kicks. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't back up. No, you're already in the corner, man. Stay here. Wait for him to move back. Not the time for that. Too much in the corner, man. Too much in the corner. No, back up. You can't if you're gonna stand on the line and you're gonna be a good smaller player fighter. You can't back up like that and give him predictability or space to know what you're gonna do. You have to be have the guts to hold the line and make him really guess whether you're gonna stand here, move in with a punch, or move back and then counter as soon as he's done. Let's try. Also, so in the future, if you fight this guy again in the future, do more stuff like that because the last round you started doing this more where you're cutting his backside. He's had a response about 2 of the 6 or 7 times you've actually done that. And someone not responding 5 of the 7 times is a pretty good thing for me because that means I can do whatever I want as long as my foot is here first. And so in the future, when you're fighting this guy, I'm not sure who he is. I don't really keep track of team members anymore. In the future, if you're fighting this guy, that's something to keep in your arsenal. And I'd like to see you fight this guy on the line more and make him kind of predict more of where you're going to be and not just um, lean more toward moving back. You do mix it up a little bit, but you're a little bit too skewed toward moving back, which plays right into this guy's game of cut, 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 flick, cut, or cut, 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 body, cut, 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 head, whatever. And so in the future, I would predicate more of the game on standing on the line and driving that cut in with this leg because it does. Like I said, of the past few times you've actually done that against him, he hasn't really had a response. I mean, he did it one time and he committed with a Hujin Hujin back round kick. And so what you could just drill then is just here, cut, and then be ready as you're putting your foot down to flick it back up to the head, and that's something he can run into for the future. Be on the inside. Yeah. So overall, Robert, it is tough fighting the team member. I mean, he's the best in the United States for a reason for your age division. It's a bunch of just right now it's picking up the small mistakes and trying to have an answer for this guy's really good weapon of his front leg. Because I gotta say, even I'm very impressed by the amount of stuff he has in his arsenal. He has a front leg, he has a double, he has a back leg on his right, he has a left leg to the head if it's in the back. I mean, this guy is a pretty well-rounded game. So obviously it's going to be hard to get around. Um, but better luck to you in the future. And yeah, just rewatch the video. Hopefully you're able to be aware of some points. Be aware of some points that I brought up, and hopefully I was able to add value to you, man. Best of luck in your guys' next fights, and feel free to keep in contact. Wish you guys best of luck.